Okay, let's begin with the lecture today. And in the last lecture, we have discussed. Yeah, before I begin, are you able to hear me? All of you, can you just confirm that you are able to hear? And have I been spotlighted? Okay, thanks. Yeah, okay, let's proceed. And in today's lecture, there are two important ideas we want to discuss. We want to discuss the relationship between total revenue, okay, I don't know why it's not writing, there is a little bit of, TR stands for total revenue, okay, and we want to also discuss two more concepts. One is average revenue, okay, AR stands for average revenue, and marginal revenue, okay, marginal revenue. We want to also discuss the relationship between TR, AR and MR. This relationship is required when we study profit maximization, and it is one of the most important concepts in economics. So, are you all there on page? Have you understood what we are going to study in today's lecture? Can I proceed? Are you all able to hear? Online students, are you able to hear and have you understood what we are going to study today's lecture? Yeah, okay, good, thanks. Okay, whenever we study TR, AR and MR, there is one important idea that you have to keep in mind. The revenue of a firm, okay, revenue of a firm is a flow concept, okay, it is a flow concept, meaning it will give you how much revenue is generated, okay, it is expressed over time, it is expressed over time, okay. So for example, we talk about total revenue per annum or total revenue per month, okay. So that means we are always discussing a flow concept, okay. So remember, revenue behavior is closely related to the market structure, okay. There are two kinds of market structures we can think. Perfect competition, okay, it's perfect competition, and you can think of imperfect competition that lumps together all other types of markets, okay. So can you all write down what all market structures come under imperfect competition? Imperfect competition would mean it would be monopoly. What else is it? Very good. Monopoly. Yes, monopoly, duopoly. Instead of writing duopoly, I'll write oligopoly. Very good. And one more. One more market structure you're not telling me. Which one is that? Okay, that is called monopolistic competition. Correct. These are the three types of market structures which we distinctly call as imperfect competition. Okay. So now, you just remember the total revenue behavior will depend upon whether the firm is under perfect competition or it is under imperfect competition. So I will draw first for perfect competition. In perfect competition, total revenue is the sales from sales receipts, let me say sales receipts over a period of time. Period of time. Okay. So you have this very important condition. Under perfect competition, price is fixed. Okay. So we get a very important condition that P is equal to average revenue. Okay. If you want, just write down the definition of average revenue is simply defined as TR upon Q. Total revenue divided by quantity sold will give us average revenue. And under perfect competition, average revenue is always equal to price of the product. Have you got this idea? AR have you got? Okay, under perfect competition, AR is equal to price. AR is equal to price. Okay, let's write marginal revenue. Marginal revenue is the additional revenue from selling one more unit of output. Okay, so it is delta TR upon delta Q. That is the meaning of marginal revenue, whether under perfect competition or under imperfect competition, the meaning will remain same. Okay, AR is always TR divided by Q. So under perfect competition, marginal revenue is equal to the average revenue, which is equal to the price. Okay, alright. Okay, under perfect competition, marginal revenue equals average revenue, which is equal to price. Okay, so if you draw this graph, it will be like this. Okay, ER, MR under perfect competition. Okay, so let us say we mark this as P dash. Okay, we mark this as P dash. So at the fixed market price P dash, you have a horizontal line which is also the average revenue curve, and it is also the marginal revenue curve. Please draw this diagram, that's very important, and then we will discuss what is its implications under perfect competition. Under perfect competition, you have the unique condition that market price P dash is equal to the average revenue, and that is also equal to the marginal revenue. Okay, so we have just graphed this condition here. Have you copied the graph? Can I proceed? Okay, thanks. Anybody others, have you finished drawing the graph? Okay, fine. I think most of you have completed the graph. So, of course, on this axis where I have not written the label, we have quantity sold over a period of time, Q. Okay, and now just below this, let's draw the TR curve. Okay, the TR curve will be like this. Q. Okay, now starting up at this point, suppose if price is fixed at P is equal to 10, and think of it like this: Q is 0, total revenue is equal to, okay, write this, total revenue will be P dash into Q, or average revenue into quantity. So compute just these three levels. P is fixed at 10, quantity is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you quickly tell me what will be the total revenue? Can you quickly type in what will be the total revenue when you sell 0 units? Total revenue will also be 0. When we sell 1 unit, what will be the total revenue? 10. For 2 units, what will it be? Yes, correct. Very good. 2 into 10 is 20. For 3 units? Yes, very good, very good. So this is, are you all getting this? So if you draw the graph Q versus TR for perfect competition, total revenue in perfect competition, it is a line, it's a straight line passing through the origin like this. Okay, it is a straight line passing through the origin like this. Did you all get this? So here it could be 0, 0, 1, and this is 10, 2, and this is 20, 3, and this is 30. Have you got? Did you all get this? Can I proceed? Very good, thanks. So, just to summarize, let's draw these two graphs next to each other. You have something like this. P dash AR is equal to MR. And just next to that, I am drawing the total revenue curve, TR curve. It would be like this, Q, and the slope of this line is P dash Q. Okay, that is total revenue is simply a fixed price multiplied by quantity. This is the revenue behavior under perfect competition. Under perfect competition. Have you all got this? Okay, great. Well, let's go to the other thing that we have left off. Let me come back to this imperfectly competitive market. Let's come down to imperfectly competitive market. So in imperfectly competitive market, the situation is like this. Firm is a price maker. Okay, like to a certain extent, the firm has an ability to decide its price. Okay, and we say that the firm faces a downward sloping demand curve. That is, if you want to sell more units, then the firm has to reduce the price. Okay, that is, suppose if this was a price and quantity, say price was 10 and quantity was 50. If you want to sell more units, suppose you want to sell 60 units, then the firm has to decrease the price. Maybe the price falls down to 8. So there is a trade-off. If the firm wants to sell more units, they have to decrease the price. So this downward sloping line is called the AR curve in imperfect competition. Okay, and it has a very big consequence. Have you got this? AR curve is nothing but the demand curve that the firm is facing under imperfect competition. Does anybody want any more explanation on this? Okay, maybe once we do a numerical example, this will become more clear to you. But because of this, what happens is that for every unit that the firm is selling under a downward sloping AR curve like this, what happens? The marginal curve, marginal revenue will be steeper than this. Okay, so the marginal revenue curve will be having a slope which is, in fact, mathematically it can be shown for a linear demand curve like this. The marginal revenue curve will have a slope double that of the average revenue curve. Okay, it will be twice as steep as AR curve. Okay, so write this important relation under imperfect competition. Under imperfect competition, okay, what happens is that marginal revenue is mostly less, but at the beginning it can be equal. So we always write this: MR is less than equal to AR. Marginal revenue is less than equal to average revenue. And graphically you can see this here, you know, at every quantity the MR is less than the AR. MR is at a lower value than the AR. Have you got this? Okay, thanks. Okay, great. And we'll draw a diagram which will make this very clear. Okay, but its consequence for the TR curve, remember? Let me write a TR curve here. Okay, imperfect competition. Imperfect competition. We have a condition that ER is like this and MR is twice the slope. We're going to look at something like this. Like this we have MR. Okay, this is the MR. Till this point MR is positive, after this MR has become negative. Okay, now correspondingly draw the TR curve. TR upon Q. Okay, I'll mark this Q1 here. This is Q1. Okay. Now remember, marginal revenue is the rate at which total revenue is changing with sales. Changing with sales or quantity. Okay, so we have written marginal revenue is the rate at which total revenue is changing with quantity. Okay, now remember here what happens till Q1. Okay, when marginal revenue is positive, then the total revenue is increasing. Okay, when marginal revenue is positive, the total revenue is increasing. In our diagram, if you see Q1 is that point. So what happens? Total revenue will keep on increasing till you reach this point Q1. Okay, and now write down the next condition. When and leave a little space here. Okay, when MR is negative, when MR is negative, that is, it is less than 0. When MR is negative, then total revenue is decreasing. When marginal revenue is negative, the total revenue is decreasing. Now if you look at our diagram, look at this point beyond Q1, what we see is that here, this region, where marginal revenue is becoming negative. So in this region beyond Q1, marginal revenue will start falling. Okay, total revenue will decrease. Okay, did you get this? And so write this. This is very important. When marginal revenue is 0, when marginal revenue is 0, marginal revenue is 0, total revenue is at maximum. The total revenue will become maximum. So if you look at this diagram at Q1, when marginal revenue is becoming 0, total revenue will reach a maximum point. This is the maximum, and marginal revenue here is 0. Here MR is positive and here MR is negative. Okay, so this is very important because you can get a lot of multiple choice questions on this relationship between MR and TR, and also MR and AR. Remember, under imperfect competition, MR is always less than, mostly it is less than AR. And only under perfect competition we have this condition that average revenue equals the marginal revenue. Okay, I'll give you say 2 minutes to think over this, 2 curves, and draw the graph, and then we can proceed. Okay, so in the meantime, if you have any doubts or difficulties, you can just ask me. Otherwise, I am giving you 2 minutes to just copy these diagrams and note down the relationship between total revenue, average revenue, marginal revenue under perfect competition and under imperfect competition. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you raise them. Otherwise, after 2 minutes, I will continue with my teaching. हे कुठल्या पेजवरती आहे सापडलं का? TRAR सापडलं, revenue concepts. Yeah. And on which page number is this? Okay, this concept is given in page number 61. Huh? Okay, on page number 65, you find, and 64, you find two tables which exactly show the relation that we have done right now. Can you please look at it? Okay, let's continue with this. Okay, now see, we want to use the idea of now revenue and hello, yeah, online students. I'm continuing with my lecture. We want to now integrate the two together. You know, we want to understand one of the most important and fundamental ideas in market economics. Okay, that is, please write this. We want to write equilibrium for a firm under perfect competition. Perfect competition. Okay. Now we are going to study two kinds of equilibrium. One is in the short run and the other is in the long run. Okay. Two kinds of equilibrium that we will study for a firm under perfect competition. and that is, yeah, this is on page number 93 and afterwards, okay. I think it's 96, 97 that we are going to discuss now. Okay, so we are trying to discuss what is the equilibrium for a firm under perfect competition. Okay, there are two kinds of concepts of time that we have here. One is the short run and the long run. Okay, we have already seen long run equilibrium is a situation where all factors can be variable, and short run is a situation where at least one of the important inputs cannot be changed. Is that fine? Can I proceed? Okay, so now we have to understand two things. We have to understand, before we go ahead, all of you tell me perfect competition. Okay, what are the assumptions of perfect competition? Everybody should know this. You have to memorize them. Yes. चार conditions आपण mainly बघितलेले आहेत. They are all very important. What are they? Okay, transport cost एक आहे, but I had not actually put that as a condition, but fine, that is also there. Homogeneous product, म्हणजे product sold by all firms in the industry is identical, very similar. Homogeneous product, no transport cost. Yes, what else? Price. Okay, fine, that is a consequence. That's not an assumption, that's a consequence of the conditions. Price, product is homogeneous, so it can be substituted between sellers. Very good. So write that. Large number of buyers and sellers. Product being sold is homogeneous. Third is free entry and free exit, and fourth condition is perfect information. That is, buyers and sellers have perfect information about the product and the market. Okay, now these four assumptions, and another assumption that you have said is sometimes also made. This is the assumption that no transport cost. Okay, but some books don't make that assumption, let me tell you that. Okay, so we have profit conditions under the short run and in the long run. Okay, let us see how this works. Okay, so now write in short run, okay, again there are two conditions here. We have to talk about, in short run we can talk about equilibrium for the firm and equilibrium for the industry. Equilibrium for the firm and equilibrium for the industry. Equilibrium for the firm and for the industry. So equilibrium in the firm and the industry, it only simply means like this: large number of buyers in the market. Okay, all these buyers together create a demand for the industry, a downward sloping demand. Okay, and the supply behavior of firms gives us what is called as the industry supply curve, which is again positively related with price, and we get a upward sloping supply curve. Wherever the demand and supply curve intersect, that price will become the equilibrium price, P dash. समझ में आया क्या ये? If you have not, just write this. Under perfect competition, write this down. Under perfect competition, the price is determined. Under perfect competition, the price is determined at the industry level. Okay, and price settles down. And price settles down where demand equals supply. Price settles down where the demand is equal to supply. Okay. Yeah, I think in page number 95, 96 they have omitted this diagram for industry, but remember it's important. Now its implication for the firm. Firm's revenue behavior under perfect competition is like this. Ki at the going price P dash, okay, the average revenue and marginal revenue are equal. Okay, average revenue and the marginal revenue curve are equal, and the firm will decide to maximize profit depending upon its cost. Okay, so for maximizing profit, the firm will always consider the marginal cost of production. So you have something like this as the marginal cost. Okay, and remember the marginal cost will cut the average cost at its minimum point. So let us say like this, it is the average cost, and the moment marginal cost cuts the average cost, average revenue, sorry, marginal cost cuts the average cost from below. This is a profit maximizing quantity for the firm. Okay, have you got the reason? The reason is that we have come at marginal. Okay, fine, just copy this diagram. I'll tell you the equilibrium in this case. Okay, if you want me to draw it again, let me draw it again. You also draw with me. Draw a vertical line which is total revenue, average revenue and marginal revenue. And you have quantity here. You get something like this. This is the marginal cost. Marginal cost will always cut the average cost at its minimum point. So you get an average cost and marginal cost like this. Okay. Now consider this to be the market equilibrium price, P dash. At P dash, what happens? Marginal cost and marginal revenue are equal only at this point, and the profit maximizing firm will produce at this point, where marginal revenue equals the marginal cost. Okay, and from this point you come to the average cost curve and draw horizontally like this. This is the profit being made by the firm. This is the profit being made by the firm. It is the difference between price and the average cost. I like our diagram. All of you got this diagram? Price determination under perfect competition. Anybody wants me to repeat? Anything is not clear? in this diagram what I have drawn, we see that the firm is making profit. Okay, the firm is making profit. Have you got it? Okay, let us look at a situation where the firm is making a loss. Okay, so short run, firm can make a profit, but most often firm can incur loss also. Incur loss. Okay, so we need to balance this. In the short run, the firm can make a profit or the firm can make a loss. So let us try to draw a situation where a firm is making a loss in the short run. Okay, so draw the XY graph as it is. Draw vertical like this and horizontal like this. Average revenue, marginal revenue, and here you draw quantity. Okay, now you draw a marginal cost curve like this. Okay, marginal cost, and let us say the firm MR curve is, let me redraw this, sorry. Okay, the firm has a fixed P dash. This is also equal to average revenue, is also equal to marginal revenue for the firm. Now draw a marginal cost curve which cuts the MR curve at a point like this. Average cost curve. Okay. Now, if this is the profit maximizing output, okay, why? Because AR is equal to, or MR is equal to marginal cost. Marginal revenue of Q dash is equal to marginal cost at Q dash. Have you all got this? So the final step is now to show how the firm will make a loss. Okay, so this is the diagram. Price, ER, MR. This price is P dash, let us say like this. And marginal cost cuts it at its. Okay, this is a situation of profit, okay, which we have already drawn. O to Q dash is the quantity of output, average cost is given here. So this region will represent total cost. Okay, marginal cost multiplied by quantity. And from here to here, okay, so the firm, this region above the, below the price, but above the point where marginal cost cuts the average cost. So this region represents profit for the firm. It represents a region of profit for the firm. Did you all get this? Okay, so loss condition, can you think of how to draw? It is just like this. Mark P dash is equal to marginal revenue, and you have a marginal cost which goes like this, and average cost is like this. Okay, this gap here is the loss being made by the firm. This is the loss. So a firm under perfect competition can be making both. It could make a profit or it could make a loss. And if I were to guide you in the situation, this is the diagram 2.3 in your textbook on page number 96. So can you just have a look at the diagram on page number 96, 2.3. Online students, you also do that. Check the diagram and see that you understood this particular concept. That firm can maximize profit and yet it can end up in a loss. Once you've got that, tell me, then we can proceed. Should I go ahead? समझो तुम्हारा है point. Okay. Let us look at the long run equilibrium for a perfectly competitive firm. Okay. So in short run, firm can make a profit. Okay, if you look into your textbook, that is exhibit number figure 2.2 in your textbook. Page is 96. And we can also see that a firm can make loss. Okay, for that refer to figure 2.3 or what we have done right now in the class. Page 96. Have you got this, all of you? So let us look at the long run equilibrium. The long run equilibrium for a firm occurs at a point where long run equilibrium for a firm under perfect competition. Okay, under perfect competition. What happens is that firm okay, and this is the long run average cost. Okay, the minimum point of the long run average cost will give a situation of no profit, no loss for the firm, and this is called the equilibrium condition. Okay, it is called the perfect competition's long run equilibrium. Is that fine? Some of point. Long run equilibrium. I'll tell you if you have not understood. Let's just put it again. Why is this in long run equilibrium? If profits are positive, then capital will flow into the business. Capital will increase. And there will be a pressure on the firm to expand production. If profits are positive, and if profits are negative, then the firm is not commercially sound and decision making is not going right. So it will be possible for the firm to increase profits. So the firm should try to increase profit by reducing output. Okay. So if the profits are positive, then it will keep on adding new firms in the business. If profit is negative, then firms will start moving out of that industry. Okay. Therefore, write down this condition. Therefore, in the long run, under perfect competition, firms maximize profit. By choosing marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost and average revenue is equal to the average cost. Marginal revenue is equal to the marginal cost and average revenue is equal to the average cost. And if you draw the diagram, you will get a condition like this. Okay, you have vertical axis and the horizontal axis. AR, MR, average cost, okay, and you have quantity, okay. Suppose you draw a parallel line like this, P dash, okay, and here both the conditions are satisfied. MR is equal to marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost and average revenue is equal to average cost. So AR and marginal cost. So there is a downward sloping curve like this. This is the average cost, where the average cost touches the AR line, this point. Okay, Q dash. We have the long run equilibrium. Okay, so the long run equilibrium under perfect competition is is average cost is equal to average revenue, which is equal to price, and marginal cost is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to price. And therefore you also get the additional condition under long run equilibrium that marginal cost is equal to the average cost. Okay, I don't know how much, to what extent you have been able to follow this argument. What we can do is that I give you a 3-minute break and then we'll solve some of the end of the chapter problems on perfect competition and revenue behavior. Is that fine? Okay. So yeah, exactly take 5-minute break and we'll meet for 10 more minutes and we'll solve some problems. Okay. Online student, is that fine? Have you understood? Hello, online students. Have you got this? What I've said? We'll take a 5-minute break, and exactly at 3:55, I will start discussing the chapter and problems. Okay, I hope you're all there. तुमच्या बॅचमध्ये त्या मुली कोणी येतच नाही का रे क्लासला? तो आणि मुलगा पण येत नाहीये. ऑलरेडी मुलगा होता. इंदिरा कॉलेजचा एक यायचा ना तुम्ही. तो पण येत नाही. एक्झाम असेल मला. तुझी आली काय रेसिपी चालू आहे? 12 मार्च चालू होणार. 12 ते फ्रायडेज. ओके, हे समजलं का? का झालंय तुमचं? वाटत नाही. पण हे महत्वाचं आहे. हे सगळे आश्चर्य देतात तुम्हाला. नाही, आपण हे डायग्राम शिकून घ्या. हे डायग्राम इम्पॉर्टंट आहे. ठीक आहे, 2 मिनिटांनी आपण चालू. Hello. Okay. Online students, can we start with the lecture? Let's look at some of the problems, and I hope you are able to follow what we were discussing. So I'm on page number 109, where you have some multiple choice questions on market structures. Okay, so look at question number 1 is, which of the following is or are essential features of the market? Okay, what are the essential features of market? Options given are buyers, B is sellers, C is price, and D is all. Which one would you select? Correct. It would be D, because all are relevant for the market. Okay, in the long run, okay, price is governed by okay, the options are cost of production, B is demand and supply forces, okay, marginal utility, and none. So this is not an easy problem to solve, okay, but as I see it, definitely two things look very irrelevant. Marginal utility is irrelevant and none is also irrelevant. So it has to be one of this, cost of production or demand and supply forces. So we will see soon that typically in the long run, it is the cost conditions, and firms will be producing at a point where marginal cost is equal to average cost, So it is the cost of production would be my choice for this answer, though even B is slightly right. It's not that it's completely wrong. I don't know. Can you all check what is the option here? Online students, are you there? Are you able to follow this point? Okay. Let us go with one more problem. In the long run, in perfect competition, a firm under perfect competition, earns. Okay, now just remember, this is the diagram which you have to remember. This is like price, AR is equal to MR, and in long run, the average cost is tangent like this, and marginal cost is cutting like this. So this is a long run equilibrium condition. So here you can see that price is equal to marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost is equal to average cost. So price is exactly equal to average cost. That is only possible if average cost includes normal profit. So for third, I'm telling you, the correct answer would be normal profit. Have you got it? The reasoning is clear. Why it is normal profit? Because firm in long run has to follow these two conditions, that price is equal to marginal revenue, and that marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost and average cost. So it is this unique point here, which is the equilibrium under long run. In short run, profit is possible and loss is also possible. Okay, but in the long run, the firm can earn only zero profit. Just remember this condition. Let's go to the fourth problem. Okay, shutdown I will discuss in tomorrow's lecture. A firm that makes profit in excess of normal profit is earning. A firm that makes profit in excess of normal profit is earning. It's the options given are economic profit, costing profit, normal profit, supernormal profit. Okay, definitely two things are wrong. Costing profit and is not the answer, and normal profit is also not the answer, because we are told that the firm is making excess of normal profit. Okay, so firm is making excess of normal profit. So one of the two would be the right answer, economic profit or supernormal profit. Yeah, I mean, in this case I would choose supernormal profit, because under when firm is making in the long run no profit no loss, we say it is earning normal profit. So therefore you could say it's supernormal profit. Super means is more than normal profit. Okay, let's look at 6. A market state that satisfy all essential features of perfectly competitive market except identity of product is known as. The market is very much like perfect competition, except that there is a product differentiation. Okay, so can it be oligopoly? No, it cannot be oligopoly because it has few sellers. Okay, can it be duopoly? No, because it's a type of oligopoly and not like perfect competition. Can it be monopoly? No, because monopoly has only one seller. So the only right option that we are left with here is monopolistic competition. Did you get this? How to solve this particular thing? You have to eliminate what is not relevant. What remains is your answer. Let's check one or two more before your next lecture starts. Problem number 7. In the short run, price is above the average total cost in monopolistic market. Okay, monopolistic market will do tomorrow. Let's. Which of this is associated with monopolistic competitive market? Okay, please answer this because this doesn't require any cost information. 8. Which of these is associated with monopolistic competitive market? Product differentiation, homogeneous product, normal in short run, single buyer. Homogeneous product is in perfect competition. Normal in short run is again a concept with perfect competition. Single buyer means monopoly. So the option here is A, product differentiation. Okay. 9th problem. In a competitive market, Dash is a price maker. Okay, firm is a price taker and a consumer is also a price taker. So firm and consumer cannot be the answers. Industry could be, but I would say, trade association. Can you just check? Is it trade association D? Industry D. But this is a very tricky question. It's either could have worked, because trade associations have also the same objective. Their objective is to increase the price and have become price maker. Okay, monopoly I will do. Okay, answer. Okay, the first order condition, 11th, in which a firm can maximize a profit. First order condition, where a firm can maximize profit. Just remember this. Always, no matter what market we are talking about, is marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. This condition tomorrow we'll see it holds in monopoly and it holds in oligopoly. So it's a first order condition. Okay, 12th, can you solve 12th? AR curve and industry demand curve are identical in. AR curve and MR curve, AR curve and industry demand curve are identical in. Industry demand curve are identical in. Okay, you may not know this, but let me tell you this. Identical under monopoly. Because for a monopoly, it's a single seller. So individual demand curve is also the industry's demand curve. That is why you have under monopoly, AR curve and industry demand curve are identical. For monopolistic competition, the market is divided among many sellers. Even under oligopoly, it gets divided. Okay, you have a maths lecture now. I will stop here. Tomorrow we will complete this topic. We will discuss the equilibrium under monopoly and monopolistic market. Okay. Online students, have you followed this? Could you get the logic? Are you all there in the class? Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay. So tomorrow we will complete this topic. This gets a little heavy, but it's not at all difficult once you understand the logic of profit maximization. Thanks and wait for your maths lectures. Okay. I'm closing this link.